Uh, Hi guys. Uh, I want you guys to look alive and present here. If it's not going to work, then I'm going to bitch about I am Calcutta because that seems to always work over here. So, no, but don't let me stoop so low. Let me have my speech and hopefully you guys will look alive while I speak. Uh, I've met more than 75 women for arranged marriage so far. Yeah, not very proud of it, but they intrigue me. Arranged marriages really do intrigue me because there are a lot of interplays going on when an arranged marriage meeting happens. Like when the first time the guy and a girl meets, the guy is checking out the girl's hips and he's wondering, oh, they're chubbier than the way they looked in the photograph that they had sent. The girl is wondering, oh, his hair is thinning. He does a good Photoshop job. So that's how it begins. And then where they meet is also a very interesting thing. There will be people who would want to meet at a five-star coffee shop and nothing below that, and there'll be others who will make do with a CCD. What they order is also something very interesting. I think it is very important, having been there so many times, to know what you order. My suggestion would be to never order something really hot because you don't know how a meeting is going to go. You don't know when you would want to terminate and get the hell out of there. And if you have something hot, you will be clumsy with it. You'll have to wait for the drink to get cold enough for you to have it. And there are a lot of logistical problems if the drink is hot. I think there should be a model code of conduct or something of that sort, where they tell you what are the best practices for arranged marriage meeting. So, uh, and then the conversation begins, and there are people talk about such important things like their hobbies and what they do on their weekends, and you know, both the people feign interest as if they really care what the other person has to say. Then there are conversations about, you know, uh, people try and show equilibrium in things where there is no equilibrium. People talk about being a perfect blend of modern and traditional values. They are like these perfect people who think both practically and rely on their instincts. And all these things which are at extremes and there is no middle path to them, and they try to show that they are at that middle path, that they are normal, that they belong somewhere in between, that they are balanced. And in that process, they are trying to play safe. They are trying to say that, I belong to that normal curve. I'm in that 80% of the people. But then if I am in the 80% of that people, then why would that person want to marry me? I mean, she could marry any of those 80% of the people. And that's where my discomfort with the whole concept lied. And that is why I decided, that I need to get out of this and, maybe travel a little, see this country for what it is. And, our middle class idea of India is very limited and it's very limiting too. And that is why I wanted to travel and see all these other Indias that exist in our country that we sometimes uh, refuse to have a look at. And that is why I chose to travel. I just took off and I said, there will be a job waiting hopefully once I come back. I have a decent MBA degree. Let me uh, try looking at this country. Let me look at the cities of this country and see what they have to say. Maybe tell them something about themselves that they haven't been told yet. Like a Bombay and a Delhi and a Calcutta have been done to death in literature and in cinema, but there is still something to be told, right? It doesn't. If there's a beautiful woman and she's been told all the good things that could be told about her, if you could come up with that one unique compliment, you have your attention. You have her attention. So that's what I wanted to do with these cities. Give them a compliment that would make them blush. That's what I've tried to do in my stories. And I've met such unique people who, broken stereotypes and doing some very interesting things. There was this girl I met at Varanasi. She was a lady of the night. Uh, I met her at the Mughal Sarai railway station. I was put up in the retiring room over there because it was too late in the night for me to go to Varanasi at that point. And Mughal Sarai station in itself is like a city in itself. It's a huge station. It's perhaps one of the biggest railway stations in the country, and it's dirty and it's in a way a perfect reflection of India also. But so I met her there, and there was Omkara running on the TV screen, and We were both sitting, two people from very different worlds watching Omkara, and she saw the laptop which was lying next to me. And she was the one who decided to make a conversation, you know. So she said, आपके पास कंप्यूटर है? मैंने बोला हाँ. She said, आपके पास फेसबुक भी होगा? मैंने बोला हाँ है. बोलते, आप हमें फेसबुक देंगे? I didn't understand the question, so I didn't know if she wanted me to create a profile or just give her access to Facebook. So she basically wanted me to create a profile for her. And right there in a retiring room in Mughal Sarai railway station, I was creating a profile for a prostitute. I know today that Hrithik Roshan is her favorite hero, and you know Priyanka Chopra is her favorite heroine. She likes red color, and you know she has all these songs that she loves. And she didn't have a photograph of hers online, so I took a photo of hers from my camera phone. We uploaded the photos, and then we came to profession. And she figured that I was a little skeptical. I explained to her what profession meant, and she's like, भैया आप यहाँ पे ना एक्टर लिख दीजिए. मैंने बोला ठीक है लिख दूंगा. बोलते हाँ भैया कुछ भी हो सकता है. मेरे फोटो देख के कोई डायरेक्टर बम्बई में बैठा हो देख के बोले कि इसको मुझे मेरी अगली फिल्म की हीरोइन बनानी है और मुझे लेके चले यहाँ से, मैं भी बच जाऊंगी यहाँ से. अच्छा आइडिया ना भैया. And then I thought that, you know, we all, even Akshay talked about the use of social media and what it is doing to our worlds. And, you know, we all are being other people on social media. We are not us on social media. But our other lives are, our life on social media is influenced by our own insecurities, our own need to look cool, you know. And there's this person who wants to live an alternate life, try to beat the odds and do something else. And she's using social media for something completely different. I also met this kid in Dantewada. Dantewada is, as you guys know, torn apart by Maoist and Salwa Judum violence. They've started these livelihood colleges in Dantewada where they basically train all these tribal kids to become mechanics and electricians and tailors and stuff like that. It's a great effort, and the thing is that they don't give access to anybody who walks in there. So I had to masquerade as a journalist, create a fake identity, and walk in there, and you know, just basically I just wanted to explore what this concept is like. And this kid, he's like, you know, he's doing all these things, and he's like, भैया पर ये मेरा main काम नहीं है. आप शाम को हम आपको दिखाएंगे हमारा main काम क्या है. I was like, okay. I went in the evening at the ground nearby, and he was riding a bike, and he showed me quite a few stunts. He did the wheelie, and he was jumping over the bike, and lots of stuff. He told me, भैया मुझे ना बाइक स्टंटमैन बनना है. वो जो रोडी में आते हैं वो तो बकवास लोग होते हैं. उनको कोई खबर नहीं होती है कि कैसे बाइक स्टंट करते हो, तो सब पॉलिटिक्स में लगे हुए रहते हैं. And you know, that's what inspired me, you know, that we have these stereotypes that are set for ourselves, you know. I'm a Gujarati kid from a business family in Bombay, and there are certain expectations from me, you know, that, he should be good at finance, he should know how the stock market works, and, you know, he should be a CA probably, and, you know, but these stereotypes are given to you by the society, and sometimes you accept those stereotypes, and then you only look to live up to those stereotypes. You don't want to move beyond them. And that's what, you know, if these guys with such limited means and such bigger troubles in life are breaking those stereotypes for themselves, I think it's much easier for us middle class guys with decent educations, right? We just don't seem to be doing that. And you know, not just that, you know, even the places that you go inspire a certain thing in you where they say that, you know, the cities in themselves have multiple lives. Like Bombay is full of extremes. I've come from Bombay and I see a lot of extremes living in Bombay very comfortably with each other. Bombay's definitions are so different for very different people. Like I met this Haji from Ajmer, and the only time he had been outside Ajmer was when he was traveling going for the Hajj, and his flight was via Delhi and then to Bombay and then to Makkah, and he said, भैया दिल्ली तो चकाचौंध है, जब देखते हैं शाम को तो सब लाइटें जली हुई रहती है, इतना बड़ा शहर है, बहुत अच्छा फीलिंग मिलता है. फिर जब हम बॉम्बे आए भैया क्या हुआ पता है, हमने एक तरफ से देखा खिड़की से तो चकाचौंध रोशनी उसी तरह दिल्ली वाली, और दूसरी तरफ से देखा तो काला घोर अंधेरा. ऐसा क्यों भैया, ऐसे क्यों है कि आप क्या गरीब लोगों को अंधेरे में रखते हैं बंबई में? Then I realized that he was talking about the sea. On the left, he was seeing the sea that bordered the city. And that's what I'm talking about. There are just so many ways to look at a city and, get inspired by it. It is not just about the cities, it is about our entire country. In cinema, both Western and Indian cinema, we have certain stereotypes about how India is. It's this boisterous country with snake charmers and colorful clothes and high on emotions and stuff like that. But then, where is the story of a Kutch or a Tawang? Kutch is absolutely, it's a stark landscape. It's absolutely desolate. The people there are completely different from a lot of people that we assume are Indians. We go to Tawang, at Sela Pass in Tawang, there is just snow wherever you see. The lake is frozen, there's nobody there. There's no electricity, there is no telephone network. There is absolute fear, and there's beauty in that fear of being alone. And we don't seem to capture that in our mainstream. It is, we have this entire system where we have these remakes and these sequels being made, and what are they? They are just cashing on nostalgia. Whatever has happened in the past that has worked, you just forget the plot, forget everything else, just cashing on nostalgia. And then if that's the case, then, nostalgia is a very powerful drug. It runs TV channels, sports channels without them having any live coverage. You watch Sachin Tendulkar matches over and over again. Nostalgia also runs entire cities and countries all over this world. Nostalgia runs marriages long after they're actually over. And right here at XLRI, I'm sure all you guys, a lot of you guys are passing out tomorrow. You guys will keep coming back. Why will you keep coming back? Because nostalgia will bring you back. Because at some stage you'll realize that nothing in your future is going to live up to your past. You said MICA was something like that. I figured at 26, it's a sad thought that you would feel that, that was the best experience you've ever had. And you have 40 bloody years to live after that. So all my attempts have been since MICA to beat that experience. The fact that I traveled and I wrote stories and I want to keep doing new things is because I want to beat that MICA experience, because that would be a true reward to MICA. It won't be to live in the past. But how do you beat these, how do you experience these new things? How do you go about it? I have a model for that. I call it the distance from the free man model. You have this ideal of a free man who loves but doesn't want to possess, who will work but who doesn't want to achieve, and those ideals. And I try to figure out how far am I from this guy? How close can I get to this guy? And it's not like I can say that I'll become that guy, but I need to get as close as possible to this guy. And I met a lot of these people who were much closer to this free man when I was traveling. I met this guy named Yannick, who was a Belgian and staying in Dharamshala. He had come here 20 years ago on a hunting trip, planning to definitely go back someday. And he fell in love with a Tibetan woman in the jungles. She was daughter of a village headman. They eloped, got married. They started a life right here in Dharamshala. The marriage didn't work out. 5 years later, they separated. They had 2 kids. He now runs a cafe in Dharamshala. He never went back. He never went back to Bruce, Belgium. He's still here. He's living a wonderful life. He smokes a cigar in the night, plays the piano, looks after the kids. He has lots and lots of books, and it's a good life. Then I met this other person right here in Kashmir. She was a little kid. Her name was Insha. Beautiful name. She would wear the hijab, and she wouldn't let me take her photographs. She had beautiful red cheeks. They were like the reds of the rooftops of Kashmir and the apples you get there. But she wouldn't let me photograph. Her Quran professor had told her that it's a gunnah to be photographed. But then every time I would take the name of Salman Khan, she would blush a little. The red would become redder. Not just that, if nobody is around, she would take off her hijab and she would look around, feel happy about it, and then she would put it on again. And there was something else. The next morning when I woke up, I saw her practicing the salsa with her friend, and she's like, "Bhaiya, मैं किसी दिन dance teacher बनना है." And I felt that here is a person who's going to be free one day, much closer to that free man ideal. What would I do if I was free? I would want to be like Yannick, having a cafe somewhere in Sikkim next to the Teesta River and I should have I'll adopt a daughter like Insha and watch her grow and write poems for her and tell her stories. But I can't do that. There is a big loan to be paid, and there is there's that big apartment in Manhattan that I want to own someday. There is also that Facebook wedding photo album that I want to someday and make my friends jealous. There's also that corner office in Nariman Point overlooking the Arabian Sea that I want to sit in someday. So there are a lot of things to be done, and that is why I think we need to be travelers. We need to say that we are not sticking to a plane. We are not sticking to any ideal. We are saying that we will be a lot of things. We are a set of a lot more characteristics than we let ourselves be. So really, I want to end with this question: that are you a traveler? It's not about how often you travel or where you travel or how you travel. The question simply is, are you a traveler? Because if you are a traveler, then you will want to keep moving. You would want to try out new things. You would not look for balance, for equilibrium, for reliability. You look for doing newer things. And then who's to say where do you stop? You'll be traveling in emotion, in action, in friends, in ambition. And there is no stopping then. You will fleet from Mao to Murdoch, and you'll fleet from MBA to Neruda, and it will be a deranged sort of a life. It will be a strange life. But then if you are in pursuit of infinite possibilities, then I think you should travel. Thank you.